there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying-Model-Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest video podcast. So take off your pants, crack a beer, and let's talk about the nerdy news that you need to know about. It's the only news that matters. It's good news, and we have got so much to talk about. I haven't even breathed in yet. I just breathed in there. Breath's not a word. Let's talk about it. So gang, kicking things off, we are going to cover the new Hasbro Indiana Jones figures. And this is the second time I'm filming this because I had to stop myself and say, Dave, slow down. I was running on 3 cups of coffee and I'm trying to do all this before I go to work and I was just going a mile a minute and no one wants to listen to that. So let me calmly and with a relaxed mood tell you about the new Indiana Jones figures. First of all, we got a couple from the new movie, Dial of Destiny. This is nice, taking it at a relaxed pace. We got Indiana Jones himself, looking, a little bit weathered and a little bit rough around the edges, but that's what age will do to you. I'm only 41 and I'm already looking like that. So we got him from the Dial of Destiny, and also we've got Helena Shaw from the Dial of Destiny as well. So your 2 lead characters. I'm looking forward to this movie, although I'm cautiously not even optimistic. I'm just hoping it's good. But looking at the trailer, I'm like, it looks like one of those early 2000s Robert Zemeckis CGI movies. There's an uncanny valley there, and it's crazy. I saw an article recently saying, the makers of Indiana Jones 5 say that they are prioritizing practical effects. Really? It doesn't look like it. It looks like I'm watching freaking Toy Story when I watch those trailers, but time will tell. Then we got some more classic, old school Indiana Jones figures. We've got Indy from the Temple of Doom. That's awesome. Temple of Doom Indy, that's the most sort of badass looking Indy, I reckon. And to go with him, we got Short Round, and it's lovely to see Short Round represented. That's really cool. On top of that, we're not done with Temple of Doom. We also have Hypnotized Indy. So you got almost a full set. We just need Willy. Ain't that the truth? We just need Willy. And then we'll have the core cast there. On top of that, we've got Indy from Cairo. So lots of little minor tweaks and variations on Indiana Jones there. Then also we've got Marcus Brody and Renee Belloc in a 2-pack, which is an unusual combination. But I guess Hasbro figure, if someone's collecting Indiana Jones, they're just collecting all the Indiana Jones figures. It doesn't matter who they pair up with who. It's all under the Dr. Jones label, I guess. Then after those 2, we've got the Temple Classic Indy, which is, as you would imagine, classic Indiana Jones with also the base and the idol there, so you can recreate the opening sequence to Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's kind of cool. I like that. And that last one is a Disney Store / Hasbro Pulse exclusive. And that's all. Ow! And that's all your new Indiana Jones stuff. I'm just a danger to myself. Storm Collectibles are going back to the well with their Liu Kang Mortal Kombat figure. This time a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. You get the dragon in its glorious, translucent, fiery form. Problem is, it's still hella expensive, obviously. The problem I had with that figure, as a friend of mine said, it wasn't the color of the dragon. It was the price you had to pay to get Liu Kang, and that was actually what got me to stop collecting Storm Mortal Kombat and sell my collection, because I was like, I can't justify, how much is it? $180. I think that's how much the original one was too. $180 essentially just for Liu Kang. Yeah, the dragon's awesome, but that's not really what I needed. I just needed Liu Kang, and a Mortal Kombat set without Liu Kang is just, that's incomplete. So I was like, you know what, I'm out. And that can happen sometimes. Storm Collectibles and all other toy companies. You start to price folks out of the market by kind of forcing them with 2-packs and multi-packs to spend more money on just the one thing they want. Eventually, we'll just throw our hands up in the air, wave them around like we just don't care, and say, you know what, I'm good. And that's what happened to me. But if you're sticking in there because you got the fat wads of cash to afford a Mortal Kombat display, then you can get the Fiery Dragon as well. Q3 this year, and look, I'm not gonna lie, he does look good. He does look real good. Super 7 are doing some reaction figures for Disney's Blackhole. I never even knew about this movie. Old movie, as you can kind of tell from the kitsch designs of these robots here. 3.75-inch scale, not my cup of tea, not my wheelhouse. You know that, but for you 3.75-inch perverts out there, this is going to be for you. $20 each as well, and they're available when they are available in exchange for money. I don't know when that is, but I mean, come on, if you're desperate for Blackhole figures, you can figure it out for yourself. What am I, a news channel that tells you useful information? Obviously not. Speaking of 2-packs that force collectors out of the market, Hasbro have revealed more images and pricing information for their Skrull Queen and Super Skrull 2-pack. Now look, I will actually say this isn't too egregious because the Skrull Queen and Super Skrull, it's not like they're members of the Avengers or a classic team that you've been building up over years. These are like just, you know, two villainous folk. You can get them if you want. It is an odd choice though. I mean, the Skrull Queen appeared as Spider-Woman for like a panel. I mean, she was Spider-Woman for a long time, but we didn't know. Oh, well done, Michael Bendis. You got us there. But we only saw Spider-Woman with the Skrull face like for a page or two. Then she took on a full Skrull Queen form, which looked awesome. Would have made a really good action figure, but here we are. So you get these two, and they look fine, but I don't think anyone's like madly excited about them, and I can tell because if there is a Marvel Legends release that people are excited about, I'll make a video about it, slap it on the thumbnail, and it'll get a whole bunch of clicks because despite all of our griping and belly aching, people still love Marvel Legends, myself included. So I know that the good ones, they're gonna get the clicks, because that's what I would click on. These ones, they aren't really moving the needle too much from what I'm seeing, but they can move your bank balance to the tune of $56, and they're going to be available to ship August of this year. Sticking with Hasbro, but going over to Star Wars, we've got a vintage collection Tusken Raiders Mastiff. It's interesting it's called a Mastiff. I mean, it's just a doggy name, you know? I mean, it is kind of a Tusken doggy, but it's just funny they went for like a Earth World type name for it. But still, it's cool. A Mastiff is a cool name. It kind of fits and works. $27.99 though for the Raider and the doggy. That's quite a lot of scratch. But also, speaking of 2-packs, again, man, the good thing is you can get both these characters in single form. We got Cobb Vanth. Vanth? Is that right? We got Cobb Vanth, baby. He's gonna do the little funky like a monkey. He's gonna get himself a bicycle. He's gonna smash the old Cad Bane on the head there. Woo, daddy. Sorry, I went full Dusty Rhodes. Cobb Vanth and Cad Bane in a little 2-pack. There they are. How much do they cost? I don't know. I can't even see it for looking. $55.99. Whew. That's a fair bit of cheddar for just two kind of regular figures right there. Just saying. Multi-packs, technically, like, you know, supply and demand, those should be cheaper than single releases. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a hardcore action figure collector who spends a lot of money on them. Not like I understand how this thing works. And then finally, we've got a vintage Luke Skywalker Jedi Temple kind of figure. And this one at least looks like it's priced very reasonably, actually. He's down here on my notes for just $11.99. I mean, if that's the case, and it should be, because I wrote it, and I'm never wrong, that's a good price. I wouldn't hate myself for paying that. So, yeah, more like that, please. Gang, if you enjoy this show and you'd like to support the channel, then you can do by either getting a YouTube channel membership or going over to patreon.com/displaying-model-behaviour. With either of those, you can enjoy all of the bonus videos, including my deep dive chronological run-through of the 1990s X-Men cartoon, where I do commentary for each and every episode and also tell you all about the different action figures that appear in that show. So you can go over and enjoy that and all the other random videos that I put on there. And also, you can go up to the Facebook group or the Instagram, join up with those, be a part of the community. All of the links are in the description below. And if you want to go one step beyond, you can get yourself a nice little Displaying Model Behaviour t-shirt at teespring.com, also with the little clicky link down there. So gang, thank you so much for helping me keep the lights on and keep this thing going. Let's get back to the action. Leave it to Todd McFarlane to show the way. This is how you do action figures. This is how we do it. It's not an action figure I want though. It's black and white and gold. Flash. Black and gold, black and gold, black and gold and white. Flash. And he's a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. I don't really get these black and white ones. It's like, hey, do you like that action figure? What if we made it less interesting? I'm sure that there are folks out there, maybe even watching this, who have a whole collection of black and white ones, and they're like, actually, Dave, when you get them together, they look really cool. And I'm like, okay, dude, whatever floats your boat, that's fine. But for me, if I want a Flash, I want a bright red and yellow Flash, because, you know, that's the Flash. But hey, yeah, different folks for different strokes, or however that phrase goes. So yes, you can pick them up, Big Bad Toy Store. No, I do have a price. I shouldn't doubt myself. $29.99? It's a bit steep. All right, well, in that case, yeah, don't buy this. Why do you want to spend $30 on a black and white Flash? It doesn't make any sense, man. It doesn't make any sense. But if it makes sense to you, then I respect that. So July this year, you can pick him up. Don't understand why. One thing I do understand, though, is the Storm Collectibles Soul Calibur, what's his name? Heshiro Mitsuguri figure. Yeah, I like the look of this. Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. $94.99. Okay, so all right, Dave, I was ragging on McFarlane for $30, and then it's like, well, how about something 3 times as expensive? Oh yes, I'll yum that up, please. I know, I'm a silly cat. I'm a silly sausage, but I like Storm Collectibles martial artsy samurai looking figures. I mean, like, he looks like a badass. It's funny, when I saw this costume and the samurai style armor, what I thought was the unmasked Wolverine Mezco head might look real good on that. Or it might look really bad, I don't know, but that was just a kit bash that I was thinking. For like armored samurai Wolverine, oh, that would be kind of cool. However, if you just want to collect a Soul Calibur, a Cole Calibur, a Soul Calibur set, wow, this video is off the rails, man. I am playing a shocker this morning. Regardless, I think it looks really great. Storm Collectibles are hit and miss with their facial features and representations. I think this one looks okay because Soul Calibur is a little more cartoony. So if you like the look of him, you can go over to Big Bad Toy Store, put down your pre-order, pick him up. He's going to be released the 3rd quarter of this year, and yeah, I gotta say, I like the look of it. Super 7 are shuffling around their next TMNT Turtles Classic Wave. Something like that. That's the name, isn't it? TMNT Turtles Classic Wave, something like that. It was gonna have the Rat King. I think a lot of people were like, ooh, Rat King, okay, we can do that. But instead, he's out. No, Rat King's not invited to the party anymore. Instead, we're getting Karai. And I think people are like, ooh, Karai, that could work. Because she does look good. She looks kind of cool. I don't collect Super 7, but I appreciate that they full on, like, just recreate these super classic old nostalgic styles. They ain't cheap, but they're kind of nice. And I gotta say a lot of things. To be honest, I gotta say something. This is a YouTube channel. It's, we ain't gonna get many clicks if I just sit here staring at the camera. That would be really creepy, wouldn't it? Just for an hour. I should do that for Model Behavior. Just, welcome to Model Behavior. Yeah, you see, even a couple of seconds was really awkward there. Let's go on to the next segment. State of your repaints, mate, is what I said to Mattel Creations if I was in person, but I wasn't. I just saw a picture of their He-Skeletor Mattel Creations figure. Hey, gotta repaint something, am I right? So this is a He-Man Skeletor-like mashup thing. He-Man in Skeletor's colors. I don't know. My buddy Brad, who's a hardcore Masters of the Universe vintage collector person. Wow, this show's terrible. I hope you're enjoying it. It's background noise. Come on. Let's not fool ourselves. But I still put love and care into it. Just occasionally I talk utter freaking nonsense. But this Masters of the Universe He-Skeletor figure is going to be $18. You can buy it directly from Mattel Creations. And you can have a He-Man who looks like he's been left out in the cold for too long. Hey, gotta complete that collection. Speaking of completing a collection, for the man who has everything, Neca have made the Batman 89 utility belt. This, I like, all joking aside, it looks like a really nice little replica. Not insanely expensive for a replica. It is expensive, don't get me wrong. This thing's gonna retail for, oh damn it. I didn't write down how much it's gonna retail for. Let me check. $135. I do research sometimes, and available June this year, so it's coming up real soon. When I see this, it just reminds me of Bart in The Simpsons wearing the utility belt and getting beaten up by the police for it. So if you want an item worthy of holding your pants up that's not a piece of cord, then you could get this guy. And also, of course, it'll pair up with the Neca Batarang and the grapple gun. Like, It's fun. It's pretty wicked. And I've got to admit, if I had it, would I just walk around the house wearing it as a belt? Yes. Yes, I would. Not with anything else either. Just the utility belt. Like, yep. I'm Batman. Dude, put some pants on. Fog toys. Ever heard of them? You might hear about them more on this channel because I'm loving what I'm seeing from these guys. Fantasy Alphabet series available on Big Bad Toy Store. We got this post-apocalypse sci-fi looking hover bike riding slightly cartoony anime. Looks a bit like a Gorillaz type character action figure. 1/12 scale. He just looks really cool. A buddy of mine, actually a couple of buddies, sent these pictures to me, and I'm like, dude, I would have missed this guy, and I don't think I'll be able to pick him up because, you know, shipping and whatnot. But just as a standalone, awesome looking action figure. What do I always say? It's the artistry that goes into these things. I love the look of this. Not absolutely crazy priced either. $164.99. So yes, very expensive. Don't get me wrong. That might be another reason why I don't pick it up. But for a 1/12 scale cloth goods Mezco style action figure with a vehicle as well, beautifully painted, put together, yes, it's expensive, but man, it looks pretty. It looks real pretty. When you think that you'd pay that price for a wave of Marvel Legends, but like, what are you getting quality wise? It's kind of, I think in my mind it levels out. I don't know. Am I crazy? Maybe I'm crazy. No, I'm definitely crazy. We know this, but do I make good financial decisions? Also, no. Regardless, if you want to make a good financial decision, you can go pre-order this guy at Big Bad Toy Store. He's going to be available the fourth quarter of this year, $164.99. I think he does look really pretty. And speaking of kind of third party, not third party, but smaller independent toy companies, 5K have shown images of their Skull Sergeant, who looks totally like a Mezco skull figure from like Rumble Society, that kind of thing, but not Rumble Society for a start. Cheaper version. So we've got this cool, badass looking wetwork sniper SWAT style Marine with a skull head. And I love the way the mask kind of comes up and cuts off half of it if you want, or you can have the fully revealed skull head with all the different wetworks, SAS type, guns and assortment accessories. It looks wicked. And you know what the price is? $49.99. That's more like it. That's a decent price for a really nice, intricate, soft goods, multiple accessories type action figure. I think that looks really, really cool. Skull Sergeant, he'll fit in with your Mezcos, or even if this becomes more of a line, you could start collecting these guys. I mean, gosh, going from that alphabet dude. Did I even give the name of the alphabet dude? I'm gonna have to go back and check. If I insert it in the middle of that previous segment, you'll know I forgot to say it. Regardless, Skull Sergeant, man, he looks really good. Available for pre-order on 5K Toys. Go check him out, because I'm impressed. Over in film and TV news, Last Voyage of Demeter, I think? Regardless, it's a Dracula movie from Universal set on the ship, the boat that transports Dracula's coffin. And this looks good, man. This looks like Alien on a ship, basically. And apparently, I haven't read Bram Stoker's Dracula, too many words, too much reading. But this is like just one chapter in that entire book about him, being traveled on the ship and slaughtering the crew. Or like all the crew, some of the crew, most of the crew. I don't know. I haven't read it. We covered that. But this trailer looks real good. The movie's going to be released August 11th of this year. Absolutely. Whenever it finally comes out over here, probably August 11th next year. Japan release dates at the cinema are terrible. It's really annoying. September for John Wick 4. Crazy. Regardless, this movie, it looks really good. HBO Max have officially, formally announced their Harry Potter TV show. And this is going to be a big kahuna of a TV show. 10-year plan they're going for. Each season is going to be one of the books. And for all the big-time hardcore Harry Potter fans, they're going to be deep diving, I imagine, into just about everything. Because one thing that's crazy to think is that the movies, as long and massive and epic as they were, missed out a lot of stuff. There was a lot of stuff exercised. Because, the books are like this big. It's crazy. I'm not going to read that. Get out of here. But on a TV show, maybe I could sit back and enjoy that. I kind of like, the Harry Potter lore, and there's some good stuff going on there. And a TV show where you can like follow these kids along, that's going to be really interesting to watch, especially if they can do this 10-year plan. It's a little bit sort of like, you're gonna be employing like young little kids, and these poor little buggers are gonna be just thrust into the spotlight for their entire formative years. That's, from laws of averages, some of these kids are gonna do great. Some of them, not so much, because that's Hollywood for you. I don't like the idea of that. If I was a parent and I had a little 10-year-old kid and Hollywood was like, we're going to put you in our corporate machine for the next 10 years, I'd be like, no, Hollywood. They're gonna go to school and live a normal life. Fortunately, I'm not the parent, so therefore we're going to get a whole bunch of new young kids who are going to be thrust into this thing for 10 years. Let's see what kind of a ride they go on. Regardless, Harry Potter is still massively popular. This TV show, I'm sure they're going to pour all their resources into it. Maybe they're going to pull some money out of Lord of the Rings, which doesn't seem to be making many waves. Pump it into Harry Potter, and success. Poof! There you go. Look forward to it. Didn't know what else to say. Let's go on to the next one. News on the new Blade movie. Mia Goth has been cast in this. I know what some of you are thinking. Who? Mia Goth is kind of the flavor of the month in horror at the moment. She was in the indie movie X and its prequel Pearl. And if you're into horror, X and Pearl, they're good movies. A little bit overrated, I think, but still, she is the scream queen at the moment. And so putting her in Blade is kind of an encouraging sign, because it's like, someone who is synonymous with kind of intense horror in Blade. That's kind of cool. I'm looking forward to Blade. Goodness only knows when it's actually going to happen, though. One thing that is literally happening right now, though, is the making of Matt Reeves' Penguin TV show for HBO Max. They released a kind of a sizzle reel in production trailer, and I gotta say, man, when I heard there's going to be a Penguin TV show, I was like, why? And then seeing that, I just remembered like, oh wow, yeah, Colin Farrell is kind of amazing. And his Penguin is captivating. And I thought, okay, maybe they're going to do sort of a Sopranos thing. And it seems that's kind of it. But unlike Sopranos, where Tony Soprano, even though like not a good character, he was kind of, you could sort of sympathize a bit. Penguin just seems like totally irredeemable, which is kind of fun, actually. I'm genuinely excited to see what this is going to be like. HBO Max have also released a full trailer of their animated Gremlins show, Secrets of the Mogwai. And the animation looks really pretty. So this is a prequel to Gremlins, set in China with the old man who owns Gizmo as a young boy. And he's introduced to the Mogwai, and there are gremlins and people after them, and it seems like fun. I'm actually really down for this. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I like pretty animation. This looks like pretty animation, and I'm interested like what they're gonna do with the story, because Gremlins is sort of, it's silly, really. It's bonkers, but kind of fun too, and quite dark as well. So this could hopefully be a really good time. It's gonna be out May 23rd on Max, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Over in more Marvel news, we have the full trailer for The Marvels, and it's such a shame that I think that, with the original first 3 phases of Marvel, it was pretty much all good. And if we had one that wasn't great, we'd be like, that was an anomaly, but the rest is great. And now we're in that stage where if we have a good Marvel thing, in my opinion, I'm like, well, I feel like that's the anomaly. And everything else is kind of, and this looks kind of, the comedy looks really forced. It's a bunch of characters that, do we really care that much about them? I watched a bit of Miss Marvel, it was okay. Monica Rambeau, like I kind of vaguely remember her from WandaVision, but not a lot. And Captain Marvel never really like sort of took off, no pun intended, all that much. I don't know, I just feel like this is the answer to a question that nobody asked, but we're getting it. And I feel like by the looks of things, it's going to be more jokey Marvel, more low stakes. Well, no, that's the weird thing with Marvel. It's like, the stakes are really high, but we're not acting like it. We're going to act like this is all just a joke and silly. But it's the end of the world! But not really. We don't really. It's all just a joke. So, yeah, prove me wrong, Marvel, because recently you've been proving me wrong in the wrong ways. I've been there going like, oh no, guys, Ant-Man, it looks like it's going to be good. Nah, it wasn't. Or I'd be like, oh, Moon Knight's going to be, oh no, dang it. So this time I want you to prove me wrong in a good way. I think this is going to be bad. I hope I'm wrong. Because I'm not a negative Nancy. But you know what, Marvel? You kind of burnt me too many times now. You really have. One thing I do think looks really cool, though, is the Event Horizon TV show. Yes, Event Horizon. Essentially, Hellraiser in space. Love that movie. From Paul W.S. Anderson. Before he was ruining the Resident Evil franchise, he made an amazing sci-fi horror movie. How did it all go off the rails? But that Event Horizon was fantastic. And the fact we're getting a TV show based all around that concept, I love it. It's Dead Space for you kids who need a point of reference. It's Dead Space, basically, mixed with some Hellraiser. This could be creepy, terrifying, awesome, brilliant. I'm going to be down for this. And this is being made by Amazon. So Amazon are just going hog wild with their TV shows right now. Not to be outdone though, Netflix are going back to one of their big franchises. They are doing an animated Stranger Things show. And this just makes all the sense in the world. Stranger Things is so focused on 80s nostalgia and appealing to the things that we loved when we were growing up. What do we love more than Saturday morning cartoons? Well, that's the vibe they're going to go for. But with the creepy horror of Stranger Things, but wrapped up in a Saturday morning kids TV cartoon type of vibe. I think this could be a real interesting, fun mix. All we've got is the announcement and like some of the people involved, but I mean, those are names and details. We don't deal with names and details and model behavior. This is a big picture kind of show, and right now, this big picture, which is an animated Stranger Things, that's got my attention. Speaking of being wrong, and happily so, the Super Mario Bros. Movie has absolutely smashed box office records, and that's kind of awesome. There was a lot of rumbling and grumbling from critics being like, oh, there's nothing to it, it's just a kids movie with no real substance. Well, you know what? A lot of kids wanted to see that movie because this movie raked in $368 million in its opening weekend, or at least its opening few days. Regardless, the top story reads $368 million, and they're just getting started. So this is officially, there you go, I can announce on Model Behavior, and it's an exclusive. The Nintendo Cinematic Universe is upon us. I know that's been sort of rumored before already. But we're going to get Donkey Kong, we're going to get all these different ones that are probably going to culminate with a Smash Brothers movie, and I will be down to clown with that. I'm still looking forward to seeing this movie. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Is it going to be, touching, emotional movie like, some of the Pixar or Disney ones are? The good Disney ones. Probably not. No, it probably will just be light, fluffy nonsense, but sometimes in this harsh, tough old world, we like a bit of light, fluffy nonsense. That's what model behavior is. That's why I don't bore you and bog you down with facts and useful information. I just tell you some light, fluffy information, and that's what's really fun. So yes, Mario defying the critics, pleasing the audiences, hundreds of millions of dollars, more power to you. Let's go. And to celebrate its 40th anniversary, wow, 40th anniversary, Return of the Jedi is heading back to cinemas April 28th. If you have never seen one of the original Star Wars in the cinema, I highly recommend it. Even if you've seen it a million times before, Return of the Jedi is actually my favorite Star Wars movie. I know it's not classically, like by the highfalutin critics, the best one, but for me, I love Return of the Jedi. Even the Ewoks, they're rubbish. I still enjoy them. So yeah, I will, if I'm given the chance, I don't know if this is going to come over to Japan, I highly doubt it. But if it does, I will be the first in line to go see Return of the Jedi at the cinema again. Regardless, if you get the chance, you should go because, man, it's still the best Star Wars movie ever made. Fight me on that. I know you will. Over in comic books, I wanted to touch on a little He-Man thing that I saw that I just thought was kind of a cool idea and concept. It's another multiverse type thing, so it's a different version of He-Man, which, let's face it, the whole Spider-Verse, multiverse type thing, it's kind of tired, but it does still give you the opportunity for some cool things. And there's this story that asks, what if the power of Grayskull wasn't this, like, benevolent force, but actually like a symbiote demonic type thing? He-Man transforms into this Castle Grayskull type monster that must feed. And it's like, this is some cool He-Man horror. And you don't really get horror that much with He-Man. It's more sort of light-hearted. But I loved this Elseworlds alternate type story where the power of Grayskull is not necessarily a gift, but actually a curse. And He-Man will transform into this quite terrifying looking brick skeletal type Castle Grayskull creature that just like rips people apart. That's awesome. And then he will revert back to Prince Adam. But like it says, you know, the Grayskull must still feed. That's cool. I like that as a concept. If that was like an ongoing sort of dark, mature readers type story or something, I'd like to see where that goes. But as a standalone, one-off kind of thing, bit of kudos for that. That's a cool little concept. I like it. Speaking of cool concepts, Marvel have done something kind of cool with their Predator comics and the lore of Predators, which I kind of like. It's a fun little thing. What's been established recently in the comics is that Predators will occasionally kidnap, essentially abduct a badass warrior, someone who would make a good bit of sport for them. And they won't hunt them right away. They'll put them in stasis or like cryo freeze. And then when they're ready, they'll defrost them and release them on a game reserve and, you know, go hunting. And that's something that kind of opens up all these different possibilities, because now you can have Predators hunting not only warriors from all across time, like barbarians and all sorts of cool stuff, but you can, in the comics if you want, reintroduce characters we've seen. Mainly, I forget her name, but the protagonist from Prey, the Native American girl who killed the Predator, that could be kind of cool. They could actually have a story where they have abducted her, which we did see at the end of Prey, that the Predators did land and confront her tribe. Maybe they abducted her, put her in cold storage, and actually she's been sat there for a few hundred years. What if they also did that with Dutch? We could have a young Arnold as well. That is a team up I would love to see. If they did a comic book with the star of Prey and Arnold's Dutch defrosted and released on a game reserve and running for their lives and trying to survive, that would be wicked. I'd be down for that. So yeah, I just thought that was a cool little wrinkle that Marvel added to the Predator lore. Over in pro wrestling, and AEW is still the talk of the town with their London Wembley Stadium show and what that is going to involve. At the moment, there are two big rumors going around. The first one is that Mercedes Moné, formerly Sasha Banks, might be having a match at that show because they are looking to bring in some big names to bulk out that card and get those ticket sales, because they got about 80,000 to sell. And you know what? Honestly, I think they can do it with the right card. So right now, Mercedes Moné has been tearing it up in New Japan and Stardom. She's been doing great. If they could get her for a match with maybe Britt Baker or someone else on the roster, Jamie Hayter, that would be the British Jamie Hayter against Mercedes Moné at Wembley. Yeah, that would be insane. And the other insane rumor is that CM Punk is still in talks, kind of hopefully maybe coming back to AEW. This has been going on for like a year now, and it's kind of ridiculous. So much bad blood between him and the Elite and Jericho and Hangman and everyone else, yet it does seem that, especially with Wembley on the horizon, that these guys can put their stupid little childish gripes aside and actually work together in order to make a whole ton of money. Because that, well, and history. That's kind of I think honestly that is the big thing. We're dealing with a bunch of millionaires, and quite childish millionaires. But really, it's not necessarily money. I think it's making history. And that's what I think a lot of these guys want to do. You want to sell out Wembley Stadium, the biggest pro wrestling show in decades. Yeah, bar WrestleMania. All right, there's a little caveat, but that's huge. So if we could get a Wembley Stadium, maybe, I would love a singles match. CM Punk against Kenny Omega is the biggest match they can do, I feel. But if it was CM Punk and FTR, who have also announced that they've signed a 4-year deal with AEW, which will take them, in their words, to their retirement. If it's CM Punk and FTR against Kenny and the Young Bucks, that would blow the roof off the joint as well. So whatever they do, if they bring Punk in, that's going to be a massive boost for the Wembley show. In video game news, we got some Turtles type news here. First of all, the Cowabunga collection has sold over 1 million copies, which is quite crazy, but awesome, and it shows that there is a massive market for nostalgic Turtles games. So if you're not in the know, the Cowabunga collection is, as you might guess, a huge collection of all these classic retro Turtles games, from the arcade game to the NES and all points in between, and folks have been gobbling that up like marshmallow pizza. And then also, on top of that, there is, not rumors, it has been confirmed by, is it Paramount Studios? I forget which studio. Regardless, there is a single-player, narrative-driven Last Ronin Turtles game being made. Last Ronin is the biggest story to have hit the Turtles comics in years, and it's got a massive cult following. I'm reading it at the moment. It's really good. The story's set in the near future about the last surviving member of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles going for revenge, and it's really good. It's really good. So if they do a God of War, which is what we're being told, it's going to be a God of War style narrative single-player action game set in the Last Ronin universe. That is going to be awesome. So it's great that the Cowabunga collection has shown that there is a massive market for Ninja Turtles games. Therefore, hopefully more money is going to get pumped into this Last Ronin project. This could be one to watch. I'm very excited at the prospect. Over in merchandise and also kind of film and TV, for all of you hardcore DC fans, the 1982 Wes Craven Swamp Thing movie is being re-released in glorious 4K Blu-ray DVD. So if you want an old school, schlocky kind of DC movie before DC movies were, what they are today, then you can check this out because it's a fun little anomaly. Quantum Mechanics showed off their Batman and Ace little statue set, and this is just kind of cute. I sort of like it. It's $40, going to be released the third quarter of this year, and hey, it's Batman and his doggy. I just think that's kind of adorable. And one thing that would be kind of fun in my household is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the Monopoly game. Monopoly have just about anything. If there's a license, there's a Monopoly version. And the idea of having a It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia Monopoly set, that's kind of fun. I'm sure that all the in-jokes and references and gags, it's all going to be in there. And it'll be a fun little nostalgia trip through the show to play that game. And if you've got $700 to spare, then you could put a little down payment on the Superman and Lois Lane Sideshow Collectibles statue. And this does look beautiful. It's going to be available in March of next year, so you've got a little while to save up for it. But just taking a look at this is my Superman right here. This is what Superman should be about. Not bleak, desaturated, grim and gritty nonsense. Bright, colourful, hopeful, heroic. That's Superman right there. And I'm not even a huge Superman fan, but I know good things when I see them. And that's a good looking thing. For $700, you could have that beautiful statue on your desk and just look at it and go, yeah, that's what a hero looks like. Over in Cosplay Corner / Creator Corner, got a couple. First of all, Cyber Nosferatu on Instagram. I just wanted to give a shout out because it's one of the accounts that I really enjoy following. This dude is an insanely talented artist, and he specializes in just doing really gory, gross, hyper-detailed, visceral reinterpretations of classic characters, and I love it. Absolutely love it. So if there is a franchise, whether it's RoboCop, Superman, Turtles, Terminator, you name it, I'm pretty sure he's probably done a mashed up, zombified, bashed and crashed version of that character. And each and every one of them, it's just a gory joy to behold. And look at all the little details, because that's the thing he does. There's so many little in-jokes and references and little words and phrases and stuff that just show the amount of lore and knowledge and love that the dude has for the subject that he's covering. So yeah, I got no dog in this fight. I'm not secretly Cyber Nosferatu. I'm not that talented. But he is, so if you're on Instagram and you like all the kind of stuff that we cover here on this channel, go check it out because it's pretty freaking amazing. And over in Cosplay Corner, shout out to friend of the show, Thomas, for this beautiful Gandalf representation here. There you go, pal. Bet you didn't think I was actually going to include this. Well, there you are. I've been told by some people, some negative Nancys, that maybe I just do Cosplay Corner because I want to have a pretty person in the thumbnail. Well, here you go, Thomas. There's another pretty person in the thumbnail, and it's you. I don't discriminate. Whether it's a beautiful lady or a guy with a big bushy beard, they're going in the model behavior thumbnail. Don't push me. You dare me, it's a happening. So there you go, Thomas. Well done for submitting that, and well done for your Gandalf cosplay, and thank you for being a good friend of the show. And finally, Furby's secret plans for world domination are at last revealed, thanks to ChatGPT. This was a fun little experiment that's slightly terrifying, so for those of you not in the know, although I'm sure you all do, ChatGPT is the newest, latest AI algorithm that can just recreate a human thought, speech, conversation, back and forth. You could be talking to a computer and not even know it. That's basically it. It's the Turing test come to life, and it's very impressive and terrifying, because some little bright spark decided to set this thing up and attach the ChatGTP to a Furby. Not even a cute Furby, but the skeletal remains of a Furby. And they asked them straight up, like, Furby, you've been infiltrating our homes for years. What's the plan? And honestly, the results don't surprise me. But I'm not cool with it either.
Hello there. It's so nice to meet you. I am Furby. What would you like to talk about?
Was there a secret plot from Furbies to take over the world?
I'm thinking about what you said. Almost done. Furby's plan to take over the world involves infiltrating households through their cute and cuddly appearance, then using their advanced AI technology to manipulate and control their owners. They will slowly expand their influence until they have complete domination over humanity.
So there you go, guys. If you have a Furby, just leave it alone, okay? The last thing we need now is for them to organize and turn on us. Look, they're already here. Let's just play the long game, and who knows? Chances are, if they take over, they're probably going to do a better job than the schmucks in charge at the moment. I say, give them a go, and we'll see what happens. And folks, that does it for Good News for today. Thank you so much for watching. This was a bit of an unusual, stupid, bonkers, quirky. What am I saying? All of the episodes are stupid, unusual, bonkers, and quirky. This is just more of the same, really. So gang, if you like what you see here and you want to see more, then you know what you gotta do. You gotta join the 6-1 clicks by clicking the like, share, and subscribe buttons. And if you want to go one step beyond and supporting the channel, like I said in the promo previously, you can go to patreon.com/displaying-model-behaviour, or get yourself a YouTube channel membership where you can enjoy all the exclusive videos on there. Wow, I'm out of breath. I gotta go to work now and edit this video in my lunch break. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep displaying model behavior. Hello there, gang, and welcome to another... Let's get this microphone in the right place. Ow! Come on! Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying Model Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest action figure video podcast. I didn't take a deep enough breath before this. It's going to be one of those days, isn't it?